This is Titletown Sound.
If Joe Flacco is worth a fourth-round pick, Antonio Brown might be worth a negative fifth-round pick.
Again, I'm just a fat dude sitting on the couch, but I watch a lot of football.
I'm here to kick ass and make steaks, and I'm all out of steaks.
Year one, he was like, all right, guys, I don't know what Dom taught you, but you need to have 11 guys on the field.
A trained orangutan could have done a better job than Ron Zerns. I mean, not even well trained.
Welcome, Packers fans. It's episode 237 of the Titletown Sound podcast. I am your host, Chris Christofko, and I am live from the Najee Davenport studios here. As soon as I figure out how to get this out of the stream, the joke will hit. Trust me, guys, trust me. I'm live in the Najee Davenport studios here, and I'm joined by my co-host, and he's live from the Chris Jackie Memorial Applebee's in Porsmo. James, how you doing?
Quesadilla burgers, man, they're the best.
Was it Applebee's? Was it Chris Jackie? You said it. That was like the most sophisticated food in Green Bay. And
I think that's what he said. But you know what? Maybe back in '96 that was the case, but now it's happening.
It is indeed, and joined also by my other co-host, who is he seems to be missing. Wait, hold on, where is he? No, seriously, where's this video? There. Oh,
Where was I?
You're supposed to be live from the Mark Chimura hot tub.
Oh yeah, I had to get out. I was a little pruny.
And if you're lucky enough to be watching on the live stream on YouTube right now, you will see that Kevin and I are both proud owners of Jordan Love jerseys. We were gifted both for our birthdays. And Dad's pretty good with jersey purchases. I mean, I'm not talking like record. I'm just like, I don't know if the players are any good, but I do appreciate the jersey.
And the quality. He's not going to purchase from any third-party vendors out of China that are going to spell Packers wrong. So
I mean, if I got one, it was like Love LUV. I might cherish that more. So
love you long time.
James Hamblin, a patron that's hard on the B. James Hamblin says 2 Love jerseys? ? Well, James, first of all, you have to understand 2 things about my dad, and well, he's Kevin's dad as well. That's not one of the things you have to understand. One thing you have to understand is he's very thoughtful. But the second thing is that he's not very creative. So we both get the same jersey. Also, Kevin and I fight like children. So you can't risk that. You give the same gift then.
Also, my birthday's in a month, and they couldn't wait. So I appreciate that.
I got mine. Wait, you got yours a month early, and I got mine 19 days late.
There's a difference.
It evens out.
But in all seriousness, it was really cool. Was it yesterday? Or was it the day before? I don't remember. But I think it was yesterday morning. I was just hanging out at home, probably not doing anything of any value. And my parents showed up. They drove 2 hours and kept it a surprise. It was a nice socially distant visit from in the driveway. But it was a lot of fun. And then I mowed my lawn today. I think I mowed a meadow full of poison ivy, so I'm screwed.
I thought you were going to say bunnies. So poison ivy is not that bad.
I was
you haven't lived till you run over a burrow of bunnies with a lawnmower.
By the way, sorry, my audio might have been very quiet up until this point. I'm realizing looking at the levels, so I'll try to keep it louder throughout the show. Sorry.
I mowed a colony of frogs last year, so if that makes you feel any better, it was an accident. The grass was tall, and I didn't see them, and it was bad. Like I felt terrible.
Kevin, we're also learning you may be birthday twins with patron James Hamblin, who says his birthday is also in a month.
I'm birthday twins with my father-in-law, which I think is interesting.
Are real twins? I mean, are they also birthday twins?
Not necessarily.
That's a good point.
One could be born at 11:59, the other could be born at 12:01.
Be amazing. Okay, it'd be better if one was born like on Tuesday and the other one was born on like Friday.
Yeah. Not sure. I think you say one was born on Tuesday, the other was born on the planet Melmac.
All right, let's. We've killed 5 minutes of non-Packers talk, but let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. We do have some news this week. As soon as I find the clip,
spanning the globe to bring you all of the news that's fit to podcast. It's Kevin Christofko.
That's right. Kevin is our intrepid reporter who reads other people's headlines but gives them unique spin.
No. See, what I do is I spend about 4 minutes total.
Okay.
Rewriting headlines. That's all I do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, beauty job. All right. You ready for story number 1?
Yeah, let's do it. Lambeau is opening back up. What could possibly go wrong?
What could what?
Possibly?
It's a Simpsons joke.
Oh. I should know. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, so Lambeau is reopening to 75 employees. Although it says no coaches or players. I mean, obviously we knew no players, but like, does that mean that like Matt LaFleur can't go to his office? That part I don't know.
I don't know either.
Most of the Packers staff have been working remotely. The NFL basically said they could go back to their offices if it wasn't violation. It wasn't a violation of a local order. And of course, in Wisconsin, there are no local orders. You can go to a water park.
There is in fact no law, as is my understanding.
It's like the wild Midwest.
It's just the purge. It's just a giant purge in Wisconsin right now. It's great.
So, but seriously, are like the Dells? Did they open?
The Dells are open. Yeah, the Dells are open.
Swim in COVID poop right now.
I keep getting emails from different water parks that we've gone to before, trying to get me to come and get and kill myself.
Free waterproof face mask. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Want that?
Tie a plastic bag around your face.
Like, I love water parks, but water parks are inherently gross. Like, if you break the skin at a water park, there's an 85% chance that you're going to spend a night in a hospital at some point in the next weeks. Like, they're just gross places. But you know what? They're amazing. Like, where else can look? I can flush myself down a giant toilet bowl in an indoor water park. Like,
I don't quite. I'm not a huge water park fan myself, but like I'm definitely. It's going to be a while before I jam myself with other people in a setting like that. I think.
I just buck the whole thing completely because I try not to go places where it's socially expected to take off your shirt.
Now that's a good point. At a water park, I feel like at a water park it's not a requirement. Like, if I'm at a pool and I'm the guy in the pool in a shirt, I feel like a giant bag of douche. I might still do it, but that's how I feel. However,
you know what I like?
I'm like, look, this is kind of sporty. Like, this is like, you know.
I have a special tank top or a muscle shirt that I wear in the pool. So I'm a giant bag of douche. I admit it.
Move. No. You don't understand. I have just t-shirts. So I got the sleeves are like, once you get the tank top, I'm with you, but you go sleeve, like that's when you cross from like mildly irritating to bag of douche. It's that piece of fabric right there. You're a bag of douche.
I'm not gonna argue that. That's legit. That's science.
Wait, where were we?
I think we were talking about the Packers.
Water parks and then bags of douche and then t-shirts in the pool. That was a good segment. Something about this I don't love. Like, I don't love that. Yeah, what's up?
Sorry, I just want to say something real quick.
Yeah.
So nobody can practice, right? Because of competitive balance, you have to wait until everybody can practice before anybody can practice.
Right.
The players can't be there unless they're rehabbing from an injury.
Right.
The coaches aren't going to be there because they're not going to be there.
Right.
So why is everybody else going to be there?
I'm with you.
Are they bringing back one of the janitors so they can like sniff the jocks or something? Like, I don't understand. I don't know why the janitor would do that.
You think that's how organizations like this work? Like, I
think that's how you get a job as a janitor in a locker room, is by showing that you're dedicated to sniffing jocks.
It doesn't work. Sometimes they just still don't give you the job.
Well, you have to ask first, Chris. You can't just go in.
Oh, now I understand. That explains a lot, especially my criminal record. Why does this have to? And look, I don't know. There may be a reason that some of them have to go back. Like there may be things you can only do there. Like for instance, we have to have one of our employees, whether it's me or my boss, go into the office once every day or two because we get mail. We have to collect it. That's it. But so I'm sure that the mail isn't piling up at the door the welcome mat in front of.
You can't open the door.
It's just, and it's all junk mail and like grocery store circulars and a couple of handwritten letters. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? That was a good tangent too. I'm so confused.
This has been a roller coaster ride
just a
already.
Publisher's Clearinghouse letter, just like sitting there with $1 million winner.
You need to have some of your staff maybe go in to keep the facility running. I get that, but why the race back? Why do these 75 people have to go? I don't know, James.
Maybe they may not necessarily have to go. Maybe they're leaving. Who knows? They're just saying they're allowed to go. They're
that's
saying,
a good point.
And that being said, and maybe it's just because I'm a sentimental human being, but if my job took place at Lambeau Field, the millisecond I was told I could go back to Lambeau Field, I would be at Lambeau Field. I'd wear 3 masks simultaneously.
I'm with you, and that's
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I hate that they're doing it. For some reason, I don't like that they did it the day the commissioner said they could. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just being pissy because I'm locked in my house. That's it. Anyway, anything else? Any other hard-hitting analysis for that one? Because I don't think I think we got as much as we can out of it.
I think we squeezed that orange dry. Yes, we did.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to story number 2. Kev, you ready?
Yep. Preseason schedule released. At least our video games will have games.
So they released the preseason schedule. And what I learned this, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago. The Packers will almost always play the Chiefs in their fourth preseason game because those opponents get to pick each other. That's why you'll see a lot what was it? Oakland used to play LA or LA used to play LA. I don't know where those teams, but teams close together, it saves money. It's easy. And so the Packers, that's why they always play the Chiefs. It's not because there's any rivalry or a rematch of Super Bowl I. But anyway, they released the schedule. And I had an article up with the full schedule, but I can't find it right now. James, do you remember the schedule?
Not one little bit of it other than the Chiefs. No, and the reason for that is I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're scheduling things just for formality at this point.
Yeah.
I can't. Maybe I'll be wrong. I don't know, but
I hope that they're scheduling it for formality, because if they're actually considering holding a meaningless football game, which would put people at risk. Right. I know all sports, it's just in some respects are meaningless, but a game that is an exhibition where they're not even playing, where you've got expanded rosters, so more people in the stadium. By that I mean more players, interacting, because there's fewer people in the actual stadiums. But what human being would ever go to those games? That's not going to happen. We know that. So why would you expose the rosters to each other, the players to each other? Why would you expose the coaching staff? They still have to bring staff into stadiums. So there's I can't. Kevin, is there any way they're playing preseason games?
I mean, not at these times,
right?
Not the scheduled times that they have now. No, I mean, if they do, it's going to be greatly irresponsible. So I can't. I mean,
which means they'll probably do it.
Kudos to America, but if they're not, then I can't see us getting there from here.
And even if we felt safe, it feels like thumbing your nose at the fates by saying, yeah, let's get people together and have a meaningless football game. I mean, if you're getting them together at least to try to play a season, I think that's a little. I don't know why it's more defensible that one counts and one doesn't, but I don't know.
I think that maybe they should just give all the players helmets that are fully encapsulating their heads, like spacemen, or old-fashioned dive helmets.
Oh, like a diving bell.
Well, yeah, like a diving bell.
But they can put the face shields on everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. The sneeze guards.
They could
just in case they're in the buffet.
They could all have those waist pouches that like Aaron Rodgers has, but inside it's Purell.
See, this is the kind of brainstorm the NFL needs.
Tape a Purell dispenser to the center's ass.
Instead of beer, straight vodka because of its cleansing and sterilizing, capabilities.
Yes, I think we're onto something here. We should probably sell this stuff.
James Hamlin asked that it says that preseason might be a way for them to test their safety protocols. Okay,
But like the problem right now is that there's no response if you have an issue with your safety. Like you're screwed if your safety protocol is breached and somebody gets coronavirus. And in fact, you know what I mean? Like it's not like this isn't more efficient way to get in and out of a stadium, right? This is the potential for everybody to get, or lots of people to get sick and potentially die. So it's
simultaneously.
Right. I'd be interested to see what players would want to actually play and which ones would say, no, it's not.
That's going to be interesting because players have been, I don't know, maybe I just haven't seen it because I really admittedly don't watch a lot of current sports type of news stuff, but have players been vocal about what they want or what they think is going to happen? Have you heard anything, James?
I mean, yeah, on social media, at least, it seems like a lot of them want to come back. They want to get, even like Aaron Rodgers, I know he said something in that interview or the phone interview he did last week that kind of got a lot of people's dander up, basically saying, calling it house arrest. So, I mean, I think that there's probably more that want to play than I'm comfortable with, just based on how I don't want people to get sick. I just, and I certainly don't want anybody to die. And I don't want like the season to get postponed completely because we decided that, games in October or September are that meaningful. I just, I don't know.
No, I think I'm with you. I want to see, I watched, I was going to talk about this later, but I watched Tom Brady play golf because I was so starved for sports. That was pretty entertaining. I hope they continue to do stuff like that. But so I think you guys are the same way. We want sports and football more than anything because it's entertaining. It's a distraction, but I don't want to have a season if it means people are at risk, and I know people are thumbing their nose at it, but man, if you saw that New York Times this weekend, the front page of the New York Times with just 1%, less than 1% of the people who have died, and a little story about each of them, like it's just, I don't see it being worth the risk. I don't get it. I don't.
I mean, yeah, Yeah, I know. I just, and then how, the new normal that it's going to be, the concessions and, social distancing, or they're going to be one person every, 2 or 3 seats. And I mean,
hold on. This might solve a problem. If there's only one person per section, then there's not going to be anyone to tell you to sit down.
That's a valid point.
We got to rethink this.
And you can't do the wave.
Well, you can wave at the other guy across the stadium.
Just the wave.
I do like the idea of just having one representative fan on each side. And miking up the players is a must. I mean, the stuff that's going to come out of this is going to be really neat.
They should do like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory deal where you get golden tickets and that's how you get to the game. And then they can make some sort of 30 for 30 documentary on it.
We might as well be a free marketing firm for the NFL with what we've come up with tonight. This is genius.
You're welcome, Raj.
As Kevin and I sit here with about $250 worth of NFL merchandise that we've spent. All right, I think we've gotten as much as we can out of that story as well. All right, and we didn't even mention said schedule, but I really don't. I don't get it. I don't like. I didn't hear any caveat like, "Oh, we don't think this is going to happen," but hey, just in case. Like, it's weird.
It's funny. They just are operating as if nothing's happening. Like, kind of like the elephant in the room, like the draft. They we're still doing this, even though things are weird. But since then,
the draft, they acknowledged, they had to change some protocols and stuff. But this is It's odd.
I mean, I don't know. I just, if they played these games as scheduled, then they're either incredibly irresponsible or there's been a miracle that's happened somewhere along the
Or
line.
Bill Gates has successfully already tracked us all so that he realizes he doesn't need the vaccine. He just calls off the virus.
I don't know. I've been taking 17 hydroxychloroquine pills a day, so I feel pretty good.
And they're delicious. Just a couple of them with some milk. Delicious.
Yeah, I pop them like Tic Tacs. And I mean, I have grown my vestigial tail back, but other than that, everything's great.
I like to take the tablets. And as I'm walking down the street, if I see someone who I believe might be infected, I chuck it at them. And at the very least, they move away from me. All right, Kev, story number 3.
Let me just open this up and sure. Montravius Adams loves Tal Bachman.
Such an inside joke.
I just stole that from our doc. Sorry guys, I only wrote 2 out of 3 headlines.
You're apologizing for something I wrote. I love it.
So, the headline was,
apologizing for only doing 66% of my prep work for today.
Montravius. Wait. Montravius Adams loves Tal Bachman. That was the headline. Do we have to explain it? Should we?
You had to explain it to me the first time I heard it, so probably.
Okay, so it's pretty easy to explain. Tal Bachman wrote the song "She's So High."
What is it? Lovely. I don't know. What's it called?
She's so high.
That's like Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, or Aphrodite. Right.
Exactly. So we made a joke about being high and Tal Bachman. It's really stupid, but I appreciate Kevin for stealing the joke from James and presenting it this evening. Anyway, Montravius Adams, a player who I think most think needs to be a big part of this team, was arrested Tuesday night in Houston County, Georgia, according to police records. I'm now reading directly from Bleacher Report. That's good podcasting. He was charged with possession of less than an ounce of marijuana, driving. Here's what gets me, and I'm serious about this. I'm not mad about the pot charge. I'm mad about the driving without insurance and driving with a suspended, canceled, revoked vehicle registration. Because, I mean, I've had times in my life where I've said, you know what, I'm going to get my car registered next month and hope I don't get pulled over because I don't have the money. Montravius does not have that same problem. James, Swade Knight in the chat says more James singing. I think we all agree.
Look, I appreciate that very much. But no, you don't want that. No, the everything about this bothers me. The pot charge, it's just like it bothers me that in 2020 there are still human beings getting arrested and for having a plant. Like that just that bothers me. And I'm not going to get into a debate about whatever, but like it's just stupid. Like
well, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm more upset about the vehicle registration and suspended whatever that was charge because he could have fixed those. I
mean that's just being ignorant.
That's lazy.
I mean it's just lazy. And I get it. Like it happens. But the thing about it for me is like you get arrested in Georgia if your plates aren't renewed in time, or like you're like that's crazy to me.
I don't think they would have arrested him just on those charges. I don't think they liked a minority person with marijuana. They probably didn't. They probably started off not liking a minority person, and then also did not like him when he had marijuana.
This segment brought to you by the Georgia Tourism Board.
Well, Georgia, which is going to be, again, we said COVID soup earlier. I mean, anyway, what do you think about this? Is this, first of all, now in the new CBA, is a marijuana arrest treated differently? Remember, because there's no, there's no marijuana suspensions anywhere. There's no marijuana testing. But if you get arrested for it, I'm guessing Roger Goodell has a different opinion.
Who knows what it is anymore? I don't think the players union knows what it is anymore. The whole thing's dumb. It's just such preventable stuff. The weed I don't care about, but the car stuff, like you said, it's just dumb. It's so preventable.
I mean, I don't know if there's hopefully there's not a suspension. He's probably a first time offender. He may get a fine and no suspension. Because I seem to remember we had a couple of pot arrests that ended up with no suspensions, right? I mean, that's happened in the recent past to Packers even.
Yeah, well, last year it was Zadarius and Rashawn Gary, and I think there was somebody else in the truck. Whereas Zadarius, basically said, "That's all my weed. Don't arrest him."
That's a stand-up dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like it's LaTroy Guion who's like repeatedly doing stupid stuff, or Nate Newton down in Dallas, I think it was, that had like 52 pounds of weed in his car, got arrested, and then 3 weeks later was arrested for having 62 pounds of weed.
He's an overachiever.
He bought 10 more. What are you going to do?
Well, at first I didn't want to use this because I thought it was evidence, so I kept that, and so really I only have 10 pounds on me if you think about it. But by the way, that's weed logic, so that could have happened. How do you have 52 pounds of weed?
That was a number I picked out of my. I don't know. No. I know it was a lot. I
remember it was something like that. But how do you have that? Like, I mean, I guess I know how, but it's just.
But like, I don't even have that many friends. You know what I mean? Like, how did these? That's a lot of weed.
What do you figure? A pound a friend? You are generous.
It's a lot of. I have a lot more friends.
I might have got my Cowboys player wrong too. Oh no, I got it right.
You were thinking Olivia Newton-John.
She got physical.
I know I was.
Well, it is that time of day.
So, let's see.
Oh, I'm sorry. 213 pounds of weed Nate Newton had.
Oh, Moses.
So wow. He had a Jamal Williams worth of weed in his car.
That is.
He had over 3 pounds for every player on the roster.
Merry Christmas, boys.
I'm going back to Lambeau for that one.
Yeah, right.
Imagine Troy Aikman on Christmas morning opening up a box and it's just full of weed.
Dave, Backyard, do you think I got enough what? Do you think I got 213 pounds? Yeah, I think you got enough. I don't know why I had to talk to David Bakhtiari, but that was just a little
long hair.
It's like you get the email from the boss that says, "Hey guys, you can come back to Lambeau. The bad news is that COVID is still rampant. The good news is there's 213 pounds of weed here up for grabs."
just have a scavenger hunt for it.
Like The Amazing Race. I think that's gonna be my next show that I binge watch as I work.
It's a quality show.
By the way, Survivor also a quality show. However, can we get different people on the damn show? It's like every other show is an all-star or theme show. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Before we go to break, we did want to mention we're going to mention our patrons, but we also wanted to mention, or at least I did, the passing of Fred Willard, because first of all, he was funny as hell, and second of all, he's featured prominently in our sound drops, and a listener actually emailed this in and thought we should do a 10 Hey What Happened salute. Much like a wrestler gets a 10 bell salute, I believe. If I remember correctly. So that's what we're going to do, because first of all, we think he would think it was funny, and second of all, it's our favorite clip of all time.
Hey, what happened? Hey, what happened?
It's awkward.
Hey, what happened? 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 Hey, what happened?
Is that 9?
Hey, what happened?
If you're just joining us now, nothing is broken.
But if you don't laugh at that, you can fight it. Anyway, I hope people appreciate that was done with respect because we do think he was hilarious, and apparently he was laughing and joking with his family up until the end. And it's, I guess, a weird person to mention on a Packers podcast, but I think go back and watch any of his movies. Like if you saw him in Anchorman, he was funny, but that was probably his, and I don't mean that he was bad at it, but that was probably his worst movie. Because he had so many great parts. I mean, I don't know. He was every time you saw him, like you'd smile when you saw him come on camera because you knew that he was going to be amazing.
Well, when you think of the movie Best in Show, that's who you think of, right? The dog, the commentator, like that is the iconic scene from that movie.
Favorite movies of all time, yes. So
if you haven't seen that, it's fantastic. What is it? Waiting for Guffman? Is that the?
Was he in that? I don't know.
Probably. He's in the other ones.
No, he's in. I think he's in. Anyway, yeah, he's in all of them, and he's just perfect. I can't describe it. He just knows how to capture those characters and make it so hilarious, but somewhat believable. All right, we have other people who are hilarious and somewhat believable, and they support our show financially. They are our OG patrons. Kevin, would you like to talk about them?
I would. Our OG patrons today, I'm going to mention Scott Neer, Jason Hicks, Milo Meadsong, Chris Korsmo, Jeff Augustine, and James Hamblin. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but James Hamblin mentioned earlier in the chat that Wisconsin has a law that prevents dogs from playing basketball. That was actually enacted following the Air Bud movies. The Milwaukee Bucks lobbied to have that law enacted when they realized they would lose in a best-of-7 matchup to a dog team.
That's true.
It's a civil Supreme Court case, Rover v. Wade. Guys, that just actually slipped out of my mouth. I didn't even think that was.
That's amazing.
That was quality.
That was and thanks to the rest of our OG patrons. Kevin will have a detailed vignette about each of you as we continue through these weeks.
Oh, they all help. No, I'm sorry. They all help James do that. I forgot to mention.
Now they're all covered. Great. All right. Let's go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a couple of things, including how the Packers might use Jordan Love, or will they use him, before his time as a starter occurs. All right, we'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Did you know that you can help support our show financially without any additional cost to you? Well, if you use Amazon, and let's face it, who doesn't? You can go through our Amazon affiliate link, and we'll get a small portion of the proceeds. You pay nothing extra, and you still get your awesome stuff delivered in like 2 days. So go to www.titletownsoundoff.com/Amazon. You just order like you normally would, and you help the show. That's www.titletownsoundoff.com/Amazon. Happy shopping.
If you would like to support the show and help others find it, give us a review and a rating. Go to Apple Podcasts and write something nice and give us 5 stars. Thanks.
We're back. It's the second half of the greatest Green Bay Packers fan podcast that is being recorded at this moment from Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. No one beats us in that category. We are number one. We're going to talk about now our Hall of Fame patrons. These are the lovely people who support us, and they also support us enough to get mentioned every show. James,
yes.
Who are these lovely, amazing people?
These amazingly awesome, wonderful, saintly people We have Paul Goldsack. Right. Kyle Turpinning. DJ Lightfoot. And Will Zine Savage.
And Pitbull, apparently. Pitbull is also.
Mr. Worldwide.
Pitbull's worth like a gazillion dollars. He better be more than a Hall of Fame patron.
there better be a Pitbull level patron. And if anybody out there knows Pitbull, please, we'd love to.
Yeah, hook us up.
Well, I just, have him on, talk Packers. And, worldwide affairs. He is Mr. Worldwide.
I would be willing to bet that his Packers knowledge would far exceed ours.
That's a good point. All right. Let's talk about I was almost saying let's talk about our next topic, but I guess that's what you always do. But that next topic is, will the Packers use Jordan Love in any way, and I don't want to say like the Saints have used Taysom Hill because it's not going to be the same, but is it possible that the Packers will start using him before he is the starting quarterback in Green Bay? James, you saw the story. What are they getting at? What do they think is going to happen? Aren't they just interpreting one coach's, hey, never say never, as
they're getting at clicks is what they're getting at.
Yeah.
The New York Post wrote this story after Nathaniel Hackett, the Packers offensive coordinator, was interviewed last week. And he was asked, hey, is it possible that, Jordan Love might be used, before it's this year, even like in a capacity that might not be quarterback. And right. And Hackett was like, well, he gave the standard Pat coach response. Well, I haven't even met him really yet. We haven't had practice. I haven't watched him play in our scheme. So anything can happen. I'm not going to say, no, but so I don't think so. Maybe LaFleur will drop some sort of play or Hackett or somebody. If he's going to be the quarterback of the future, the guy you are going to trust your team with to throw the ball down the field in 3 to 4 years' time, I'm not understanding why you would take him and put him on a field to go play wide receiver or some sort of wildcat goofy thing. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, James, I think you're absolutely – you have to be right there. You have to be right that there's no way the Packers are going to trade up for a first-round quarterback who they think is a generational quarterback. As we've discussed, they've got to think that, or else this was a terrible pick. So they think he's a generational quarterback. There's no way you're going to expose him to any sort of possible injury. No way. He's got to be too valuable to you. I mean, Kevin, right. He's got to be too valuable for you to split him out wide and in anything but a decoy role.
Especially considering the fact that this offseason is so jacked up, or is going to be so jacked up.
Right.
So, you've got half as many practices or quarter as many practices, but you're going to run him out there as a tight end.
Oh, by the way, your practices are on Zoom. Like, it's not. So
they're just running routes in their backyards.
Actually, the best part about that is that Mitch Trubisky has a better chance of completing a pass on Zoom than he does in real life.
So I was proud of this. I tweeted this out from the TTSO Twitter account. But have you seen the memes where it's like, my plans and then 2020? And generally, I think they're stupid or I don't understand them, which then makes me think they're stupid when they're probably just smarter than me. But mine was my plans. It was a picture of the Lombardi Trophy. And then 2020 was Mitch Trubisky being drafted by the Bears because they will never, as long as he is on the roster, never compete.
That's a good metaphor, right? Like sometimes you win a Super Bowl and you get a Mitch Trubisky.
Yes. That's exactly it. So there's no way they use him like that, right? They can't. It would be irresponsible. It would be a front office malpractice to throw him out there to the wolves like that.
I mean,
however,
yeah.
The question that they also asked a little bit was, could you use him in plays where his mobility as a younger quarterback might be more valuable? I still think the answer is absolutely not, but I think there's different reasons for that. What do you think there, James?
Okay, everybody, I think, that's listened to this podcast for any amount of time or read my Twitter feed or any of my articles I used to write, you know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to caveat. I will always like everything everything I say is going to be twinged with a hint with Aaron Rodgers.
Jock sniffing, as we discussed.
Yeah.
Tain't that the truth?
I can't personally envision a scenario in which, as a coach, you say to yourself, you know what? Let's take the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands and put it in the hands of a rookie who's had a shortened practice period and had some accuracy issues the last time he played.
The last time he changed systems.
Right.
Wasn't that under a new offensive coordinator?
He had a ton of new players too, new teammates. So, but I mean, it would be hard. He'd have to come into camp and really just show out, man. He would have to really come in and
embarrass Aaron Rodgers, and that's the other part of it. The reason that I think it's a bad idea is because although I hate that you have to, you do have to consider how Aaron Rodgers would react to something like that. If you're going to put a rookie in there, and you're going to tell him you're too old to run, a run pass option on a third and medium, you're going to cause a lot of problems with your franchise quarterback. You may have already caused some of those problems by drafting, but I don't think, I've kind of come around to the point where I don't think that you can hold yourself responsible for what Aaron Rodgers might think of your pick. You know what I mean? Like that's.
I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think the Packers were fine to take a quarterback because this whole chip on your shoulder thing with Aaron Rodgers, like, they took a quarterback, that should just be motivation for him, right? Because Aaron Rodgers himself, his entire career has said that was motivation. So this should just be motivation, should be nothing more than that.
Oh, I'd want nothing more for Aaron Rodgers to play so well that Jordan Love can never play. I'm okay with not for the for the Packers. I mean, I hope he gets to play at some point. But I could see Aaron Rodgers having a second half of a career, kind of like Brady, and going further than you think. Just to spite us, or just to spite Jordan Love, I should say, or just to spite the Packers organization. But they're not going to run him out this year. It's just there's no reason, and it just pisses me off that this is. And I guess dedicating 15 minutes to it doesn't show how much I don't think this should be talked about. But I don't think this kind of shit, like, I almost said it. This kind of stuff, it's just this is what we've come to. Like, this is what when people blame the media. Yeah, I get it because this is crap.
I mean, this is just off-season chit chat nonsense, and it happens every single year. Just now, there's a whole new, a brand new narrative that hasn't been there before.
Yeah,
and so now it's, or at least not since 2000 or 1990, or was it 2008? And so I think that's all it is. Plus, the New York Post, who takes anything they say seriously.
Good point. Yeah, probably nobody. Gentlemen, it is not on the schedule, the document that we did for the show today, but there is a voicemail from a frequent caller, and I didn't listen to it because I prefer to be surprised when we get a call from the Iron Sheik. Yes. So, gentlemen, this is a call. Hopefully it plays well. We've been having some little issues with the audio. Hopefully it'll be okay for you if you're listening. But this is the Iron Sheik without any further ado.
Hello. Here's the problem as I see it, Bobo. The people hating on the Jordan Love, so he is the bullshit. You know what I think of these people? I think they are the bullshit. They don't want to like the Mr. Brian Goopy Juice to be making the picks. But the same small cock assholes who wanted the Ted Thompson gun. Now they want to take the Brian Galapagos and string him up. What the fuck, people? What the fuck do you want? Nothing is good enough for you? Go be a fucking Vikings fan. You like the bullshit. That's what the bullshit is. You forget all the shitty picks you make in your fantasy leagues. You Clorox drinking motherfuckers. If the general manager Brian Scooby-Doo doesn't want the wide receiver, I don't need a wide receiver. You had the picks because you think you know everything. You know how the Madden football games work. Do you try and get a real-life job doing this shit so you can show everyone how fucking brilliant you are? No. And you think you're a fucking expert because you figured out a video game? You haven't learned to play the system, Bubba. You just learned how to play with yourself. You think you like the Rider Brito winning the Madden with no fucking quarterback. That's playing with power, motherfucker. I think of these too. I tried to look up highlights of the Brito, whatever he is. I look for the video. I find articles, and these sacks post videos that have nothing to do with the fucking story up with their article. I find peace on the tournament. I go to watch the tournament highlights. They have video there about what if the Kansas City Chiefs all got the COVID on the tips of their there. Nobody wants to watch those videos. If I'm the Yahoos of the 40 wins, I knock you down, I tear off my mustache, and then beat the out of you with it. Here's what you need to do, Bubba. You take down the names of all these f***ers who are trashing the pick, and if in a few years Jordan Love is doing great, you hunt these motherfuckers down and you beat the dead dog shit out of them. I sit there and just say, I don't like the pick, but we'll see. It's okay. It's okay. You don't believe yet? That's fine. That's okay. It come with time, Bubba. It's like the man said. Oh, you didn't know? Well, then your ass better get a phone and learn how to dial. Your show, the general manager, Brian Hooperstank, for respect. Oh, Bob Saget, I've spilled beer all over.
He is now forevermore Brian Hooperstank.
Brian Hooperstank. I'd like to thank Sheik for that and for a show title. Episode 237, Brian Hooperstank. Oh my God. I don't know where to begin. That might have been his
Did he wish that? What did he wish about COVID and tips of?
well, there's a lot to unpack, but I think we can agree that this was, if not the best, one of the best calls we've ever gotten from the Sheik.
That's pretty good. That's right up there, man.
He said he didn't care, I believe, if the Kansas City Chiefs, who we've now mentioned twice in the show, all got COVID on the tips of their, and then there was a bleep, so I'm not sure what it was.
Of their ducks, I believe is what it was.
That must have been it. But he did mention something, and I don't think we didn't talk about this in the last show, but we talked about it in our little Facebook chat that we have, that the Madden championship was won this year by a player who didn't use a quarterback.
He used a punter.
So what did he, Kev, do you remember what he did?
He just ran the ball. He didn't throw any
No,
passing attempts.
Why? What was the strategy? Like, why was that a good idea? Do you? Is it that you like limited? You have to pick your team or something beforehand.
Yeah, I think you like draft your team, and so instead of drafting a quarterback, he didn't draft a quarterback at all.
Right.
So,
so he figured he could get a lot more valuable pieces and then just run. I mean, obviously run the ball constantly, and he ended up winning the championship.
Right.
They'll change. I'm sure they'll change the rules next year. But what do you think about that? I mean, I'd be pissed if I was watching it; it would bore me. But what do you think about doing that, where you're like Bill Belichicking the system, James?
I think it's great. I love stuff like that. I would be super pissed if I was the guy that lost.
Right.
Like I would be more mad than I normally would. But yeah, no,
Now, would you be mad at what he did, or would you be mad at yourself for not being able to like figure it out?
I'd be mad that. Yeah, I'd probably be mad that I couldn't figure it out. But I'd also be mad that like whatever algorithms the Madden had allowed him to win with no quarterback. That's insane.
So Swade Knight, who's in the chat, says, yeah, I think it was a salary cap thing. Most people go high-level QBs, but he didn't, so he had money to use elsewhere. All right, so you could get, like, the best offensive line. You could get, great running backs. And that's probably all you need, and then a great defense. I mean, if you're not using a quarterback salary, think about that. The Packers had an extra $50 million to spend. You know, you're talking 5 great pieces you could get.
Well, and that's another thing that you mentioned, Chris. The guy played pretty good defense too. I think the final score, like the championship, was like 20-6 or something. Like
Right,
it wasn't like, it wasn't like 50-55 every game or whatever. So
are those? And I don't know. Are those games usually like super high scoring? Is that is that a Madden thing in
I have no idea.
the competitive levels?
It was when I played on Sega Genesis back in '96.
I wish this was more accessible for old people because I would watch this. Like I really would.
Yeah.
And I say that because I don't know where to watch it. You have to make it easy because I'm old.
When I was in college, we had a Madden tournament, and whoever had scheduled it had scheduled like a 2-hour block of time, and there was 25 people who showed up and 2 TVs.
Oh,
So halfway through round 1, they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're only playing 1 round. We only have time for 1 round because it's each game's an hour.
right.
You just can't do it in 2 hours." But so basically, what happened was when they announced that it was going to be point differential, the guys on the other system, the 2 systems that were playing,
Right.
I heard them saying, "I'm going to win. I'll beat you by a lot, and then we'll split the money." And so I called the moderator and told on him. I was like, "Hey, they're cheating." And it was obvious that they were cheating. The guy was run, and then the guy would chase him and run around circles behind him and let him score a touchdown.
Demarius
And so
Randall.
they disqualified them, and as a result, our team ended up winning.
So you're a Madden champion, so you can speak from experience.
Oh yeah, yeah. We won a round robin by 8 points. Therefore, we were the champions of the 2-hour tournament.
I've never been good at that game. I can't I like the Nintendo Switch because most games involve one of the pads and 3 buttons max. That's what I can handle. But we used to play Call of Duty a lot, and I got decent. I got enough so I could play. But when I was a kid, the Nintendo, the NES controller was perfection. Why did it have to get? I mean, I guess I had to get because they were all 2D and simple games. But man, I could rock that controller. I was like, what's his name in that movie, Wizard?
Fred Savage.
Fred Savage, yes. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a good one.
You've always been. Anyway, so we're talking. This is all from the Sheik's phone call. This is how much he gave us. Kevin, what do you think would happen if the Chiefs got COVID on the tips of their wieners? Really better than dicks? Why did I just say dicks?
Where I don't.
I said it twice. I feel like that's.
I'm trying to think of how it's. I mean,
how's it transmitted?
It's transmitted mostly through breath. So sounds like somebody had a good time.
I mean, typically
they don't have 75 employees back into the building, but they do most of it.
I think typically it's spread in a fine mist. So do with that what you want.
All right, we have a couple minutes. Any wild cards, Packers related or not, that you want to throw out there? Anything that you want to discuss from your life, or I don't know, just trying to kill about 7 minutes.
I'm ready.
No.
I'm going back to the office in a week. Yay! So there's that.
Yeah, I'm never going back to the office.
Well, you work from home, so
yes. That's just a nice excuse to not go back once a week. Because I used to go in for 3 hours a week, but what's the point?
I'm getting a haircut on Friday. That's pretty cool. I'm
letting mine grow out.
See, I need to cut mine. But everyone in my family hates my beard. I'm bitter because I've never had one. I kind of like it. It didn't itch one bit. And everyone
does Amanda hate it?
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, get rid of it.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad beard. So
I'm just imagining somebody driving somewhere, listening to this podcast, and then they get to this part.
Hold on a second. No, full disclosure, if they made it past the 10 Wahapan salute, then they're here. Let's.
Valid point.
That's one of our greater moments, I think, the way we address that. Sheik versus Chiefs, who wins? I mean, if we're talking trash talk, we know who wins.
Right. I think the Sheik would break their back and make them humble. That's exactly what he would do.
That's true. That is true.
Right. Now, is it like a tag team situation for the Chiefs, or I mean,
11-on-1? I don't know.
Right. I mean, is it rigged, or what are the rules?
It'll be wrestling rules or football rules. I don't know.
Right.
All right, guys. As we wrap it up this week, we're going to try to do a show. We usually do a show during the season and even in the offseason a lot every week. It's probably not going to be every week just because, guys, there's nothing happening. There's no OTAs, there's no transactions, there's just these New York Post articles. But we do like getting together and doing a show. So I don't want to promise one every week, but I promise you one every week and a half ish. Something happens, to be honest, as fast as we can to talk about it if it warrants that. But we appreciate you guys hanging with us. I know that it's a weird friggin' world right now, and things are going to get interesting in the next few months. So please be safe. Keep your family safe as much as you can. You gotta protect yourselves. And I worry about it. I worry about our grandparents and my parents. I mean, hell, grandparents. My dad just turned 75.
And now apparently you have to worry about getting COVID on the tips of our dicks.
I mean, I always wear a mask on mine, so I'm cool. I'm good to go.
How do you think Brian Hoobastank?
Where does the elastic go?
Oh, you just talked over my Brian Hoobastank because it's
sorry, my bad.
My favorite joke Sheik has ever made. Anyway, all right. Before we get out of here, Kevin, what do you got?
I want to leave the mental image of a wiener mask where the elastic would attach. Just think about that. Because it's probably the balls.
He said the quiet part out loud.
I'm not going to lie. I was envisioning it differently, but that's funny. I don't want to go into detail, but there's bridges and the elastic. Anyway, we can move on. James, do you have anything as interesting to
add? If you've made it this far into the podcast and the 10 Hey What Happened salute and the wiener mask haven't scared you off, go ahead and
put this on Pack a Day. They're not a good podcast, but there's wiener masks on those other podcasts.
No, man, there's no alcoholic underage. I mean, anyways,
we did record this on a holiday, so I might have come to the podcast a little on the inebriated side. So hopefully you can understand that.
Tweet us the word grundle.
Wait, you're the one who mentioned wiener masks.
I'm cool with it. I don't mind. Look, I'll debate wiener masks all day long.
I refuse to wear a wiener mask.
Because of hashtag my freedoms.
Only sheep wear wiener masks.
The governor can't make me wear a wiener mask.
I got a new product idea, guys. We'll talk about it offline.
Is it wiener masks by any chance?
Ixnay on the inner way mask, sorry.
Tweet us Grundle, please. Thanks for hanging with us. If you're listening and maybe giggling, you get the joke. And that makes one of us. So thanks a lot for that. Let's get out of here. We'll see you in a week and a half-ish. I thought I pressed. Oh, yeah, I did. If you want to help us out, you can go to patreon.com/TTSO. Make a small or large per episode donation. If you're not watching live, you just missed something hilarious. What about the bag glider?
The preceding podcast was a production of Productions Institute LLC. Copyright 2019. All rights reserved. Don't steal our crap.